Hello and welcome to episode 12.5 of
The Complete Charting Guide.
It is recommended you watch everything up to and including episode 12. Before I start, let me mention that I expect this to be a very long video, like at least 45 minutes to an hour at the minimum. This video will not be introducing any new information, just basically a review of everything and creating a chart from scratch. So if you're just going through the charting guide and trying to learn right now and you don't want to binge this whole video for so long, feel free to skip it and go to episode 13. That's why it's called episode 12.5 after all. The editing will be kept to a minimum to keep the experience as real as possible. So I will be pausing my voice and being dumb, possibly doing things wrong and having to do it over, but that's the charting experience. So let's get right into it. All right, here we are finally. I will not be starting from the very beginning of getting the audio, since if I used any audio from someone else, I'd get copyright claimed. But I have my own audio that I imported already. So we'll start from there and go into Audacity, drag it in, and I have the WAV file. First of all, I'm gonna Control A, amplify it. We'll generate some silence. Seconds, 2 seconds. And at the end, I'll listen to it to make sure it sounds alright. And it's way too much, so. That's about good. Alright, and I will export it as OGG. And now we'll open up Moonscraper and hit Control N. That did not work, so I will just go to here, and I guess it's already on this. Audio, Desktop, OGG. And it should be loaded in. Now, normally I would do all this at this point. I could put the name of the song, which is, Liar. Artist is me. Your Dusty Guitar. Etc. Etc. I can't put words in here, so I would just put 2023. And maybe just guess the difficulty, like 5, maybe 4. Instrumental, metal. I'll go over how to do this in a different video, same when I do how to do this. But for now, it doesn't really matter. Alright, then I will actually save it at this point, because I will be doing the whole thing, so I want to have it. I'll just put it on my desktop for now, although usually I would put it in a folder. And the first thing to do is to tempo map it. So, actually, you know what? The first thing I think I'm going to do is we can all listen to the audio, so we know what it sounds like. If you want to skip ahead, this song's like 4 minutes long, maybe. So I'll meet you back then as we listen to it. Alright, so that was the song. I was just on Discord on my phone. It was pretty funny. Alright, anyway, we are going to tempo map now. And I don't think I'm going to do the solo, because the solo is a bit beyond what we've learned yet already. I can try. We'll see how it goes. So I want to go to somewhere that has drums, where I can clearly tell what the tempo is. Because if I just do it in the intro like this, there's no strong indication of where the measures start and end, or which is beat 1, which is beat 3. So I want to get to somewhere where it's going to be easy for me to tap to the tempo. Maybe that's a bit complicated too. No, maybe this is good. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Seems like it might be 100. Could be wrong, but let's see. Oh yeah, that looks right. If I just scroll really far and it still lines up, it's probably right. Yeah, that seems right. Okay, and then I'm gonna do my sections now. So maybe intro. Go find where it turns into verse 1. Do it on here. Go find the chorus. That was lucky. Landed right on it. Chorus 1. Somewhere around here. The drum fill clearly indicates there's a new section. Verse 2. Chorus 2. Then we have like interlude or something. I'll just call it what's it called? Bridge. Call it bridge for now, and then there's gonna be a solo in here somewhere. I'm actually gonna start. Actually gonna start the section right here, even though it's not on here, because I want. If you were in practice mode and you clicked on the solo, this section to start from here, you'd want to start at the actual beginning of the solo. This is a very long solo, so I might split it in half later, but for now it's fine. Very long solo. Okay, now, since I listened to the song already, I already remember what this section kind of is. It's like a pre-chorus, I guess. I don't remember if I went over pre-choruses and pre and post sections yet, but this is a pre-chorus. And chorus 3. If I didn't go over pre and post sections yet, this basically just means this is a build up to the last chorus. Anything else? Yeah, okay, I accidentally stopped my recording for a second, but nothing's happened. You didn't miss anything. What was I saying? The reason I know what verses and choruses these are, besides the fact that I wrote the song, so I know what it is. Well, first of all, this is an instrumental version of the song, so if there was vocals, you'd be able to tell a lot easier. Because the vocals don't repeat in this section, but they do in this section. But I just made it instrumental so we can hear the instruments easier as I chart. But, I'll just play them and I'll talk about the reasons. Alright, this has a lot more energy. At least it sounds like it can do that way. Got these higher guitars, then this is more of a subdued section. I think there's also a bigger build-up into the chorus than the verse. Yeah, with this. it just has higher energy. The riff in the verse seems more like it would lend itself towards being a verse versus the chorus. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just gonna start charting to stop embarrassing myself. If I can find my cursor. Alright. Now, yeah, it's not imperative that I have all the correct names for these sections right now because they're just here to help me move around. Something, let's go. Okay, the first thing I'm taking note of is that this is a repeating riff. So I could just, if I just do one measure of it, I could just copy and paste it the whole way down the intro. And the way I'm hearing this is in like 4 note chunks. So we got this, then someone right here, and this one, then this one. So something like this. Now something else I'm hearing is each one of these the first 3 end on like the highest note, and then the second one ends on the second highest, which is orange and blue in this case, or I want it to be that. And that seems like the most accented note in this kind of riff, so I want that to be a spot that's unchanging. So I'm just doing what I think is going to be the most forced part of this. The part that is going to be changing, has the least amount of leeway to change, and then I can change everything else around that, which will be my rapping. This one sounds like it's actually higher than this one. Should be like this. Okay, so I'll do this. This seems like it might be okay. Now, this does not sound like hopos at all. It sounds like it's very strummed. Very heavily strummed. So at the very least, I'm doing this for sure. And then the question is, do I value the playability of it so the player just can hit these with hopos? Or do I want it to be all strums and, you know, they have to strum, which is more annoying, but it's more accurate to the audio. If I was playing this, I'd find this very annoying, especially because I suck at strumming, so I'm just going to make them all hopos. Somehow I got these in there. That's okay. Maybe I can do this. I have justification for this, which is that I want to preserve playability. We'll have a little bit of audio. So I'm just going to keep it this way. And then, as I said earlier, I can just copy and paste this, probably, and it'll work. Keep that as a strum. Now the question is, do I want to switch to the other riff of the other guitar here, or do I want to continue doing this riff? I'm actually going to switch to the other riff because this seems more of like a background noise, and the main interest in the section is going to be with this lower riff, which I just highlighted, but there's nothing there yet. Alright, let's see. Bum bum bum. Sounds like kind of like this. You place them in the right spots. Come on, cursor. I want this to be a strum for sure. Okay, I'm just making sure that the lowest note in the section is actually this green, so I don't have to move everything else up. So, bum, bum. Yeah, those are the same notes, so I can keep the lowest note in the section as green. These are the same note. Yeah. Okay, this note is higher than this red, but lower than this yellow, so this needs to move upwards in order for it to be able to fit. Alright, this seems right to me, so let's see. And I should be able to copy and paste it to this next instance. I could make this a strum or a hopo. I think either is fine. I'm just going to keep it as a hopo for more playability. Ideally, I'd want this to be orange, but if I make it orange right here, it's going to clash with this and be two different notes in a row that are the same gem. You can't have that. Yada, yada, yada. So it is an orange. Now, I want to add some sustains here, too, because there's a lot of empty space, and these notes are still ringing out. I'm not going to add them on these, even though I probably could get away with it. It just adds the unnecessary clutter to the chart that does not need to be there. Because they're too short. Keep this as orange. Maybe I do like it as a strum, though. It's so heavily and obviously strummed in the audio that I don't feel like it's right to put it as a hopo. Okay, now it's the second riff. Okay, now I'm really regretting putting this as orange because this is only this high. The next note should be higher than this orange. So this is a more of a complex topic. Yeah, I'll go into it. Why not? So this orange represents the highest note in this section, whereas this orange also represents the highest note in this section, but it's higher than this note. So even though they're really far apart, I kind of like to treat them as if it's important that this one is represented as higher than this one. I don't know if that's possible. I mean, it might be. The question is, how can I get around this? This is my main thorn in my side right now, that this is preventing me from doing blue here. So either I find a way to make this like a yellow or something, or some other way to wrap this, or I find a way to move this from blue to a different note. Well, looking at just this section, I really want these orange, 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 blue to all line up. This is just so obviously lower. I don't feel like it's right to put it as any other note. So I've got to figure out some way to do this if I want this to be higher. Like, you know, this is acceptable as a chart to have these as oranges, but I want them to be blue because it would look better. There's also the option of this one stays orange in the first one, but then for the rest of the chart, it's blue. That's an option. Is it a great option? This is a real head scratcher. I think in order to save time, whereas like if I really, you know, tried, I probably could find out a solution. I'm just going to keep it as orange, even though I think personally it looks ugly. If you were just like a beginner charter, this is very acceptable. And even if you got feedback on it, some people still might say that it's okay. Okay, apparently I spoke too soon because it doesn't even matter. And the reason I'm saying that right now is these notes are going to go higher than what this orange is, so this can't be orange anyway. So, oh, I should have thought of that. Alright, that's too advanced for you guys, but if you know, then you know. Anyway, these notes are going to go higher than this blue. So it doesn't matter, it's just going to go higher So the actual pitch relation between this and this does not matter as much because the notes are going to go higher anyway. So this is no longer the highest note in this section, if that makes sense. Just trying to hear the pitches of the notes. I also have headphones on for my hearing my own voice while I'm doing this, and then listening through my computer monitor. So it's not as easy for me to hear it as it usually would. But, you know, whatever. Just me making an excuse. Alright, this note is actually lower than this blue, I do believe. Yeah, but because this is an ascending line up to this orange, I don't think it matters that these are the same note. It's not like chords. It's fine to have them be the same color if no they're different pitch if they're spread out. Whereas with chords, that's, you know, looks more ugly. Now that's annoying though. I think I will have to wrap this. And I need to be better at explaining my thought process here because I keep on jumping ahead. But what I'm hearing is that this should be like orange-blue because this note is higher than these notes. So currently, if I just did that without changing anything, then you see it doesn't look like that's what's happening. So I'm just going to do this. Or will I? The reason I don't like this as much is because these are closer together, so I feel like the pitch between these two matters more than the pitch between these two notes. So I'm going to put it this way, which would be 2 plus 3, technically. This is just a more spread out 3-gem section. I don't know if I like that still. Now the reason that I don't like this is that this yellow sustain and this yellow sustain are both the most prominent note in this section, but they're different pitches, and so I don't like them being the same pitch. This is also a head scratcher. Wait, is there another note here? I think that's just me hearing things. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I could, no. That's what I'm trying to avoid, is this blue. Wait, am I wrong? I've been wrong this whole time. I just wasted, how much time was that? Just wasted like 5 minutes of your time. You're welcome. So this all can just be ascending anyway. That's what happens in charting sometimes. I told you I'd be being dumb and making mistakes. That's just how it goes. Yeah, it's already been almost a half hour and we're only this far into the chart. So yeah. I'm not gonna end the video if that's what you think I'm segueing into right now. I'm gonna complete this chart, besides maybe the solo. A lot of this is gonna be copy and paste once we get it down first, so it'll speed up later. Oh crap. Hopefully my computer did not just crash. There it goes. Okay. Let's continue. And I don't remember if I explained it, but the reason I was wrong is that, yeah, this note is lower than this one. But for some reason I heard it that this one was higher than this one. But hey, that's why it's important to have your pitch training so you can hear those things when they're, you know, not completely totally clear. And that's just a copy of this measure. And then it sounds like it's just looping from this. So we're just copying it all. See, now this is where I do wish that this could be blue. I still wish I could find a way, but no. Let's continue. What is going on? What is going on? What did I do? Oh, I'm just undoing whatever I just did. Let me listen to it again. ones needs to be orange, okay. Looping again. Okay, now another instrument comes in. The question is, do I start charting this new lead instrument, or do I continue doing what I'm doing? This is totally a choice, by the way. This is not like something that has a right or wrong answer. I'm gonna, just for the instructional value of charting different things, instead of just continuing to copy and paste, I'll chart the higher part. So it starts out on like a low, I think this is the lowest note in the whole lead part, so I'm gonna start on green. I'm immediately proven wrong, okay. Wow, wow, wow. I'll do hopos later. Okay, obviously I can't just go orange and then some higher notes, so I'm gonna wrap and do this instead. If I can find the correct note spots. Somehow I'm wrong still. Alright, let's check it, see how it is. Okay, this is the hopo I was talking about earlier. Even if this is strummed, it is not as heavily strummed as the other notes. And I want to put a hopo here just to enhance the playability, just a teeny little bit. Now this is going higher here, but well, let me explain that in a second. What was I about to say? Yeah, this note is really got some stuff going on with like dissonance with another note. I'm just considering if I want to do anything about that. I think I might in a different case, but I'm just gonna ignore it for now, because we're not advanced enough at that point. This is still fine. This is still acceptable. A lot of people would chart it this way, but I would chart it differently. I'm just not going to because it's too advanced. Okay, this is where I'm going to pull out the big guns and use an open note. Now, why am I using an open note? Well, I don't know if I should say this. but I'm gonna say it. This is the big plot twist of charting. Now, am I trolling you right now? No, I am not. I am being 100% serious, including tempo mapping. This is your reward for watching, what is this? 32 minutes into this video. Boom, boom, boom. I know I just said I'm going to use an open note here. The reason I'm doing this, well, let me go away. I want these to be open notes. And I don't want to have two gems of the same color representing different pitches. That also applies for open notes. Although it's very rare you run into that situation, I'm going to do it right here. And let's see how yellow works. Honestly, I can just do this. So right now we've got, if we go all the way back, we've got section of 4, and I'm going to do a section of 3 at the top here. All that explanation was all for nothing. So congratulations, I have wasted another 3 minutes of your time. Let's go. Alright, and this is where, last video I said I'd go over open note chords in this video. Here it is. So this, I would normally chart as a green-red chord, and it is a chord that has an open note in it. And it's a power chord, meaning it sounds like this. and it's the lowest chord I can make on my guitar. Or that this person, whoever's playing this song, it doesn't have to be my song, lowest note they can make on their guitar, and it's an open note chord. Meaning it's a chord with an open note in it. As I will continue to stumble over my words over and over again. For some reason, my brain no work. Anyway, that's open note chords. And this is going to bring a lot of benefits, especially right over here. When I'm going between playing all this, fancy stuff at the top, and then, having open notes in between them, it's going to help a lot to have these as open note chords and representing it as that throughout the rest of the verse. So let's continue. Now this is a muted note. It's not a 100% muted note, but it's very muted. So even though it's the same pitch, so it would work anyway. But even if it wasn't, if I was charting it at this as this, I would still put this as an open note just to represent how muted it is. Yeah. Anyway, and I'm not going to make this a sustain actually because it's too short. Boom. Now this is kind of it's like a bend on the guitar. I'll probably do a different video on that, which I don't think I have planned yet. So we'll see when I'm doing that video. Anyway, this is like a bend, so I'm going to actually represent that with 2 notes instead of just 1. And then here's the open note, which I'll chart it as a hopo, why not? Boom. Yeah, that seems right. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. This is making me question my decision to use all these as open note chords once again. And the reason for that is if this was a normal chord, why is this a hopo? And I would still chart these as opens, and this is representing the audio better because the player can see these are the normal chords, these are the muted version of that chord. So it makes me want to do this, but I think I'm going to stick with open notes just for simplicity. Bam. Bam. It's really egging me on to use green red here instead of open note chords. Alright, fine. I cave in. I think it looks a little bit better as green red. It's representing the audio better. It's giving more visual information to the player where they can figure out what's happening in the audio without hearing it. Just by looking at the gems. And I think these are long enough to have sustained, even though I literally just... And by that I mean they're not under 100 milliseconds. Because this is only 100 BPM. So, what is this? Technically an 8th note sustain is long enough. And I said that it's not long enough earlier. I mean, some people might put a sustain here, some people might not. I would put a sustain though. Especially for these. Before I continue, and as I'm just, continuing my radio silence here for no reason, my logic for open note chord here still stands. The only reason I'm, if you wanted to use an open note chord in this situation, if you heard something like this in a different song, I feel like that this logic is still solid. Just that because of these muted notes, I want to represent these with muted notes and these as non-muted notes. It's the only reason I'm doing this. Otherwise, I would totally be using the open note chords. And I'm pretty sure this is just repeating, so I will copy and paste. And I'm not just copy and pasting and blindly believing that it's correct. I'm copy and pasting and then listening to it and making sure that it is correct. Don't just copy and paste and then don't listen to it again, because you're gonna look like a fool if you do that. Yeah, like right here, this is different. But all this is still good, so it saved me some time. This just sounds like 30-second notes. So, boom. And I'll also, I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but if you just hold down, left click, and just do this, you just place down a bunch of notes. Same thing with gems. It's good for open notes. Alright, now can I continue? Oh, because I hit Control X to delete like this, it actually put that in my clipboard. So I will continue grabbing the copy and paste if I can find the beginning of a measure. Okay, the second half of the measure is now different, and I remember that it is going to continue to be different. So I'll keep the first half, and I'm just going to change the second half. Can my second computer stop freezing? Okay. Now, this is a bit complicated, but effectively what we have here is chords going up and then down a little bit. Let me go back to 16 step size, and then it's pulling off to an open note in between. Actually, an open note chord. But in this, well, I'll just chart it first without open notes, and we can talk about it later. Bum, 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 bum. So I could do something like this. Which is going up and then going down. Just using the standard set of 3 gem chords. I actually don't like this yellow-blue section of notes and then this yellow-blue chord lining up. So I'm going to do this instead. Yep. Yeah. Okay, and then in between, it's pulling off to this green-red shape. If you can hear that. And these would be hopos, and trying to make a player play this is evil. They're not going to be able to do that. So for playability and another reason. So the other reason that I'm going to do this is because if I were to just remove, whatever notes here, this, let me put these as naturals. Move it just for the demonstration. If these were just single notes, then you could apply the rule of open notes that, it's pulling off to the same note over and over again, which would be opens. It's the same thing, but these are just chords instead. See, I think I had it like this. Yes. Okay. So for that reason, I'm going to use open notes, and also the playability of just, this is basically impossible to play that with green, red in between. It's just not possible. So this is a huge, massive increase in playability for like a slight decrease in audio accuracy. Yeah, and then I think I can just copy and paste this. Just copy and paste it. Okay, and this is just a chord. Same chord we've been seeing this whole time, so I'm going to keep it as the same shape. Although the drums are doing all this crazy stuff, that's not happening on guitar. So we don't have to worry about it. So just keep it as an open, or as this green-red sustained chord. Okay, so that is the verse. 45 minutes. I told you this is going to be a long video. If you're still here, thank you for being here. Let's continue. Okay, what I'm hearing is there's 3 chords. Goes boom, 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 boom. So I really just need 3 chord shapes. That's what it sounds like. So just do this. Maybe get a few in there. Are they 16th notes? Yeah, it sounds like they're all being strummed as 16th notes. And just copy and paste it all the way through here. And then it's just the next shape up. Copy and paste that too. I don't know how I messed that up, but I can delete. And then the highest shape. And copy and paste this down. Okay, now it's gonna do going back down. Boom, boom, boom. Is this the same chord as this? It sounds like it. And then it should just copy, or it should just be copy and paste. Okay, now one thing I'm realizing is that for these I used the exact same chords, shapes. So if it's not the same chords, I don't really want to be using the exact same shapes. Maybe I might change it slightly just to show. I mean, this is a really nuanced thing, and a lot of people would never notice this. This is just one of those very tiny tweaks that makes your charts better. So I just want to make sure these are not the same, or that these are the same notes if I'm going to keep this. Otherwise, I'm going to change these shapes. Yeah, I'll change them. I think I'm going to change them upwards because they are higher. So make sure I grab... Whoops. Uh-oh. This is what I wanted to avoid. Make sure I grab them all instantly so I'm not missing out. And then you have the two chords that are similar. Oh, I grabbed the wrong ones. Oh, God. Let's hope this is right. Make sure to grab all these and change them. Okay, and then I'll just delete this. Come back and grab the rest of chorus 1. And copy and paste. Now there is an argument to be made for 3-note chords here. I'm not going to go into it because I'm just going to use 2-note chords just because I feel like it. Not really going to justify that too much. Or, well, I guess I should say I could justify it if I wanted to, but I just feel like it's right, and I don't feel like justifying it right now. So I'm going to keep it as 2-note chords, but there is an argument to be made for using 3-note chords, and I would probably accept it. Now, okay, so there's a note from this kind of phrase. Boom, boom, boom. The question is, do you chart that last note from this phrase, or do you just start charting the verse right here? And there's an argument that can be made for both. I'm going to do the verse, and the reason I'm doing that is because it is easier. So I'm going to hit Alt-A, copy and paste the entire section, and just paste it. And that's a lot easier than trying to continue doing this. I'm just going to listen to it and make sure it's all correct, that I didn't falsely copy and paste. Alright, so immediately, yeah, and by immediately I mean immediately after I finish talking, this is incorrect. Sounds like it restarts from right here. Make that a forced note. And yeah, I'm going pretty fast when I'm charting here. And maybe I've been silent for a lot of the video, but this is how I chart. You just hit F. You're just hitting F to toggle these open notes to either a hopo or to not a hopo. This is the bass playing right here, so I'm not going to chart that. I just feel like you're switching to the bass, from the guitar to the bass, and then back to the guitar way too fast. So I'm not going to chart that. I'm going to just leave that to the bass. Now, I'm going to take a risk once again and assume that you can just copy and paste the chorus onto the next one and see if it's right. Now, there's these extra guitars in the lead and stuff. But I'm not gonna stop charting. And what I'm trying to say is I'm not gonna. This is the fun part about doing a video and recording without editing at the same time. I don't want to basically delete these just so I can chart some notes like this or however it is. You know, I'd rather just continue charting this. If I could do both at the same time, maybe, but I feel like that'd be pretty mean to the player to chart those two parts at the same time, so they have to play this and play those other high notes. Yeah, that's just sounds evil. Probably too evil. To your player. A little evil is encouraged. Alright, what I'm gonna do now is, as encouraged by my fellow Discordians, and for some reason I have 5 pings, is that I will now be taking a mandatory meme break on Discord. Alright, let's go. Hello, my fellow Discordians. You are being recorded. Do you have anything to say to the prospective so let's see. We will find out. I like how it says usernames have been truncated, and none of them are truncated besides like a few here and there. I'm not going to open my DMs for you to see. Ugh. You know, just scroll through. Scroll through. Damn, it's already 11 o'clock. Yep, there's John Teeter with the, Ironic. Lamau says John Titor. Polka.cat. The triality of man. Ghost BB. Discord is my life. I die for my Discordians. It's some real shit. I meet the love of my life here. I gain friends. I mature. It's all part of the Discordian life. So true. So true. I will favorite that GIF. Let's wait a little longer as we continue seeing what's what. I just noticed on my recording PC here, it says it's 11:13. On my other PC, it says it's 11:11. So someone is wrong. He says war. I will also say war. I would open up my GIFs, but there's probably a lot of stuff that is gonna get me banned if I open up my GIFs. Alright, we will wait 1 second just to see if anyone has some good response. Nope. Okay. Back to charting. I'll chart the bridge. I'm not gonna chart the solo though. I mean, this video is very long, and the solo would probably be like an hour video just in itself. That's just how solos be. So let's chart the rest of this bridge. So this is just the intro. I do hear faintly in the background this riff, but it's too quiet and I'd rather just chart this instead. Let's grab this. Why did that? Oh, it's been doing that? Oh no, I gotta go through and manually do this. Alright. Now, here's where I would start charting the solo. And, you know, maybe it'd be something like... It's a lot faster than that, actually. Maybe it's 24ths. And a bunch of other stuff. I'm not going to go into that. So, this is the end of the solo. Now this is a build-up. It actually just sounds like the chorus, but bit crushed really heavily. So let's see if that's true. Okay, looks like it's not entirely true. But I might be able to do this and then delete all these. What just happened? Alright. How is that still... Wait, is it right? Is there other stuff going on here? Sounds like it's bum 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 bum. What? Maybe it is, but again, I'm wearing my headphones to hear my voice while trying to listen to the computer speakers, so it's not easy to hear. I think it might be like this though. If you are uncertain about something in your chart, you can always just leave it one way, and then when you come back to look at it later, which I'll be going over in a different video of why you should do that, then you can be like, well, I don't think that's right, so maybe I'll change it. But for now, I'll just leave it like this. Okay, now things are getting crazy. Things are getting crazy. Do you chart the boring old chorus again by copy and pasting it, or do you chart whatever this is? Now, there's an argument to be made for both. I would lean a lot more heavily towards charting the synth, just because it's more fun to play. And I guess the only argument against it would be that it's like in the background, especially if there is vocals on this, you would hear that it's pretty in the background. I guess I'll do the synth. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use taps for this, which is one of the rare occasions we get to use taps because it's a synth instrument. So we get to choose, do we want to do normal notes, do we want to do taps? It seems pretty difficult, so I'm going to do taps so the player doesn't have to keep on strumming. Now I want to find the lowest note and the highest note of each phrase. Is it right here? Whoa, 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 whoa. That seems right. And then we just fill in the gaps. I don't know what that noise was. I guess it sounds like it's 30-second notes. That seems right. Just copy and paste. Okay. If I charted all this, it would extend the length of the video by like at least 10 to 15 more minutes. So I'm gonna not do that just for the sake of everyone's sanity and just copy and paste the chorus in here. Just copy and paste. Although if you had charted it, you could copy and paste it on the repeats of the chorus here. I'm actually gonna add a chorus 3B here and chorus 3A. And the reason I'm doing this is because the last chorus is double length. What do I mean by that? Well, if you look on the right side here, the distance between chorus 3A and the chorus 3B I just placed is the same distance down here between like chorus 1 and verse 2 or chorus 2 and the bridge. So, and then the distance from chorus 3B to the end of the song is also that same distance, which, you know, if I didn't have this here, you can just look at this and say, well, there's a lot of empty space here. It must be possible to split it in half. And then I do, and you can see, hey, it's exactly twice as long as these other ones. I could do the same thing to the solo, but I'm not charting the solo, so I ain't doing that. Let's continue. Okay, this is when I finally get to chart this last note. Maybe it goes to right here. Yep, that's good enough. Right, so I could play the whole song again so we could look at it and see how it is. That would be a very long time. I guess I'll just play each section once. So we have our intro we did. Then the second riff, which we decided to make both of these strums just to show that it is a very heavily strummed note. Although over here I made these hopos because I think it would just be not that much fun to play all these as strums. It's a bit unfortunate that in the end we had to keep this as orange and couldn't move it down to blue because of this ending on blue. Couldn't make this blue as well. So we just kept it as orange, and that's okay. Well, I just said it's unfortunate, and then it said it's okay right after each other, but, you know, take it as it is. Alright, then we charted this high lead part. We charted this. For the verse, we did green red as the lowest chord, and then the open note purples to represent the muted versions of that. Although we also used hopo opens for, you know, if I wanted to, I could do this and make it a hopo, but that would be very unfun to play. So for the sake of playability / fun, we will keep it as a open hopo. And I guess I should talk about the note forcing here as well. This is obviously picked, and this is a slide from this, or it's like a bend from this note. So I chart this as a hopo. There's no way you would ever chart this as a strum, because it's not strummed. It's a bend of this note. So it's like the pitch changing. It's basically, let me go into a bend real quick, even though only like 1% of the audience will hear this. This is basically what the note actually is. It's just a sustained note. But the pitch of the note is being altered during that sustain. So it's still the same held note on the same fret of the guitar, but it's being unbent. So the tension is being released from the string, making the pitch go down. Same thing over here, but in reverse. So I'm charting these as hopos. You would not chart these as taps ever, but you know, this seems like the correct solution. I don't think doing this as a strum after this would make any sense, nor would doing a tap. Again, these purple notes are the why can I not remember the muted version of this note. chords. These are 30-second notes compared to the copy and pasting of this one. So we made sure we didn't just blindly copy and paste. We actually listened to it, made sure that's correct. Here we have our chords tapping into the, or you know, pulling off to the open hopos here. The chorus is very self-explanatory. I don't think I need to go over the chorus. Verse and chorus again. The bridge is just the intro. Solo we didn't do. The pre-chorus. You could chart this, like just do this, but it's so quiet that you can't really hear it. So I'm just gonna keep it that way. And then this is just the last chorus. I just copy and pasted it all the way down. And that's basically the whole chart. And that was about an hour of work. So charting takes time, and you might have noticed a lot of the time I was replaying the same section over and over again, just trying to hear where the pitches were and thinking, what do I want to do with it? What kind of problems am I having? How do I solve them? But yeah. Was it a chore to do that? No, that was, you know, it's charting. Charting is fun, despite someone during the meme time saying that charting is suffering, which is the inside joke in the charting community. But no, I would not say that was a chore. It wasn't work for me to do that, although it might have been for you to watch it / watch this series as you're learning. But yeah, there's a lot of creative decisions you can make, and as long as you're justifying what you're doing and using logic, that's not flawed, then you can really do anything you want. And so it makes charting fun. So I won't keep you here any longer if for whatever reason you've put yourself through this torment to watch this currently 68-minute video. And I'll end it there. Next video I'll be going over, which will be episode 13, I'll be doing star power. Because that is the next thing we'll be doing after you've charted a full song. The next thing would be to add star power, which would be this bad boy. And we'll go on all into that. I won't jump the gun here. I'm not something I'm failing to speak. Thanks for watching this video, and happy charting.